Welcome, ma'am. I, as Sonam Pundir, feel privileged to welcome such an eloquent speaker to speak to us today. Ms. Kalpana Unadkat, ma'am, has been kind enough to share some of her precious time with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. I, on behalf of all of us, welcome you in today's session of Celebrating Change. Shalini, please give a big round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you.
I really feel great to have you all here. It's my extreme pleasure and honor to introduce you with Ms. Kalpana Unadkat, ma'am, who is an incredible speaker. She is a partner in the corporate and commercial practice group in the Mumbai office. She is a qualified solicitor registered with the Bombay Incorporated Law Society and the Law Society of England and Wales. She is a qualified to practice both Indian laws and England laws. She is a well-recognized expert on corporate governance principle. She has been awarded the Corporate Governance Lawyer of the Year India in 2019, 2018, and the Rising Woman of the Year Award in 2019 by the Economic Times and Spencer Stewart and Women Super Achiever Award and Women Lawyer of the Year Award. Ma'am, first of all, I really want to tell you that I really admire you. And you have
Thank you so much.
And you have so many admire right now who are sitting in the audience. They
No, I
all
love
are
you
showing
all.
We will be really grateful to you share your experience.
Yeah, so
Please,
let me
ma'am.
just share, let me share my journey with all of you. All Shalinis in this room. So interestingly, you know, I became a lawyer. Before I became a lawyer, to start with my career, my first salary, I don't know if you all want to know what I made in my first job was 90 rupees 20 years ago. Okay, that was my first salary. So everybody used to say that, why do you want to become a lawyer, right? I come from a family where nobody was a lawyer. And actually, I do resonate myself with all of you because no family who was in the law. And the way our legal profession in the country was that if you don't know anybody lawyer, it's extremely difficult to be successful at what you do, right? So everybody was like, you know, are you sure that is this what something you want to do? But this was something my passion, right? So to start with, you know, I wanted to do my solicitor. So as soon as I finished my Bachelor of Laws, I signed up what we call articleship or a training contract with a solicitor firm. And that's where my first salary was 90 rupees, honestly. I used to travel in the trains in Mumbai. Some of you know how it is, right? My train ticket 1 month pass was more expensive than 90 rupees. Let me tell you that. Because the ticket used to cost me more than my salary. Because out of 90 rupees, they used to deduct 3 rupees professional tax. So in my hand, it would be 87 rupees. And you can imagine living in Bombay at that age, 87 rupees is nothing, right? So what I had to do, what we heard just a little bit, that I always was very independent, even from age 17 or 18, right? My father always told me, my father had a car and he used to tell me that, look, if you want to drive my car, you have to pay for the fuel, you have to pay for the petrol, right? So that's what made me independent from that age, right? And I think that still, even after 34 years, it still remains the case, right? So I think it's very, very important for a woman to be financially independent. I think that's one point I would definitely convey. So going back to the journey, so I effectively doing my solicitors, I got the scholarship from the UK on shielding scholarship, and I went on to study further in law. What I saw, we talk about in India, it's a patriarchal society. There is so much gender issues, gender biased. When I landed in London, it was same. It was literally the same, but with a different color. Let's put it that way, right? So when I started working there as a lawyer, as a junior lawyer, I realized that what we face in India, if the same thing existed 20 years ago in London. It was not very different. So when we talk about gender inequality, I don't think it matters whether you are in India or whether you are in US, whether you are in UK. Everywhere it is like that. So we all had to struggle. We all have to struggle. But again, it comes. Some of you mentioned what is your first goal, second goal, right? But I always believed in similarly. Even today, I believe in goals. So I saw that one, what you have to have is a short term goal, and the second is your long term goals. There will be times in your life where you will see that you are not making progress, but stick to your goals. You have to change your ways to achieve that goal, right? But stick to it, because with my experience, let me tell you, with no background, no family in the law, no, not knowing anybody in a foreign country, and this is, I'm talking of the year 98, 99, when I landed in London. And when you can imagine 98, which is more than 25 years ago, where we didn't have we didn't even have internet at that time, right? Right now, everything is available on smartphone. You Google it and the answer is there, what to do, right? We didn't have any of those things. We didn't have a mobile phone, let me put it that way. My first mobile phone was in London in 2000. So when I decided that, look, when I went on a scholarship and I got a job offer, I came back after the scholarship and I got a job offer from one of the top city firms in London. My parents come from a very conservative family, especially my mother, not father so much. My mother was not willing. She said, no, how can you go to London alone, not knowing anybody there, you know? So that was but as I said, I had a dream. When I went on a scholarship, I had a dream. Before that, I must share this story with you. I had watched, how many of you have watched the very old film, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge? See, quite a
Yes,
few of you.
yes.
Yes, exactly. So before going to London, I had gone with a friend of mine to watch Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. And there is a song there where you see this whole Europe. They have shot in Switzerland and all. And you know what? When I went with my friends, I actually thought it would be nice to go to this place and visit all these places. Right? Somebody here mentioned about traveling and the bucket list. I love to travel. So I still remember watching that film in Bandra in one of the theaters with my friend. And I said, oh, Ekta, would it not nice to go to these places? Never thought that, I would really get the opportunity that way. Chevening scholarship opportunity came. I went for the scholarship. I got selected, right? I went to London. During the scholarship, I saved the money, and that was my first Europe trip. I went to the same places which I saw in Dilwale Dulhaniya. Why I'm mentioning this to you is never give up on your dreams. Follow your dreams and your passion, because if you don't live your dreams, you will be living somebody else's dreams, which could be your parents, which could be your bosses, or which could be your husband in future. Don't do that, irrespective of which role you are in. Have your own dreams and passion, and if you have that, then life becomes easier, because you have a goal to finish, right? So going back to my London story, right? So my mother was not very happy about it. That, look, how can you, especially during those days, I'm talking of 98, right? So I said, oh, how can you decide? I thought that after you come back from scholarship, I want you to get married and, settle down in life. That's what her dream was. My dream was go back to London and be a career woman, be a successful lawyer. That was my dream, right? And when the opportunity came, I said, no, I have to go for this. I had to struggle, obviously. And then I went to London, and post that, in probably 6 months or 12 months, my mother realized that how important this dream was for me. I was happier there, right? And so it takes a while. People around you sometimes may not understand what you're doing, right? But you have to follow that. I went there. After 11 years in London, I decided to come back to India. It was a different India, let me tell you, because when I came back to India, things had changed. Probably India had moved on so much that when I came and in corporate world, the whole scenario was very different. So it was a new challenge for me coming back to India and working as a partner in a big law firm. But again, it's a challenge. And what I like it is the challenges. And that's what then every day you are looking forward to it, that what's new. So that challenge again I took up today, post joining Khaitan as a corporate M&A lawyer. The important thing is that I have clients who appreciate me. They don't differentiate whether I'm a woman or a man. So that's advantage to me is that when I live in men's world, let me tell you, it's last 20 years of my life. It's always been men's world, right? So I think what one needs to understand is that a lot of time I get this asked questions that it's boys club, okay? It's men's world where you live. Yeah, of course I do. The rules are made by men for men. That's the world I live in. But we can follow those rules. I don't tell people that change the rules because I am a woman. No, I don't differentiate whether it's men's rule or what. I follow those rules and I think we can do that. So the important thing is that don't tell anybody to change for yourself. Don't expect that people would change or the rules would change. I think it's how you are going to come out of those challenges. That's the key at the end of the day. Suppose that I have been, part of various organizations and also part of various initiatives on women empowerment, right? And a lot of times I keep getting, a lot of times people ask me that what is it that, what keeps you going? And I think we just heard from the, so effectively, the way I looked at it is that I had a dream and I followed that. I have been quite passionate about corporate governance. I want to bring change in the boardroom, and that's as a part of that. We started and there was a mention about the co-author of a research report, Women on Board. So I became a part of that change where I wanted women to get the opportunity in the corporate boardrooms. I wanted women to get the directorships, right? And I remember somebody mentioning this to me, one of the colleagues. He said, look, why are we bringing quota in the corporate boardrooms? And I realized that in India, unless you bring out the quota rule, nothing happens. Whether you look at judiciary, political, anywhere, unless you ask for it, you are not going to get it. So please, please, please ask for it, what you deserve, right? So we became part of that change. And that's another passion that I firmly believe in, right? So this is my journey. I'm very happy to take the questions that you would like to, know about me. Please, I think let's keep it interactive. Whatever questions you have, please throw at me and I'll be very happy to answer those.
Oh, ma'am, you have experienced so many things. We all are so inspired right now. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your experience.
Pleasure.
So, ma'am, like me, ma'am, there are so many Shalinis who are so curious about you. I was just moving forward to, as I can see, so many hands are risen to ask you question.
Please go for it, please. I think let's do it. I would love to answer those questions, whatever questions you have.
Yes, ma'am. So I first invite Aarti.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is, do you love to do pro bono legal work for people who are in need of a lawyer but cannot afford the heavy fees of a lawyer?
Interesting questions. We do some bit of pro bono work in India. While I was actually in UK, Aarti, we were supposed to do certain number of hours compulsorily pro bono work. So in London also we did that, and even as a firm we believe in that. So we do pro bono work, absolutely.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now next we look Divya.
Hello, ma'am. As you have been in this field for so many years, I really want to ask you is, what do you think, how can this legal system can be improved so that everybody can get a fair justice? Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, so I think in India, especially, I agree that we have a long way to go, but also we have come a long way. Let's not forget that, right? I mean, 25 years ago, the legal system was very different, right? The number of cases, especially when you look at towards, what sort of rights that women have, right? We just had a speaker who spoke about LGBT, right? And also mentioned about there is a case which is going on, the petition which has been filed for actually LGBT, marriages, right? So I think honestly we have come a long way. We have made changes in the legal system. Having mentioned that, we have a lot more to do, right? Whether we should be doing this every year, especially if your question is specifically on women rights. My view on that is that it's a continuous process, it's a journey. We should not be talking only during Women's Day or during March events. That should not be the goal. Throughout the year we have to make the progress, right? And in terms of legal system, the one change that I would like to see personally is the number of cases that we have got, right? And a lot of times I get complaints that the justice is never available in Indian court system. I think it's not entirely true, but yes, we need to make a lot more changes. We need to bring governance again in the legal system. That is the only way we will be able to move forward. I think we need to change the system drastically.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for answering.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. So now next is Muskan. Muskan, go ahead. Okay. So Nazir Anisa, please ask a question.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving this opportunity. Ma'am, my question is, as we all know that you are a popular lawyer in India, and you have been talking about the joint ventures and corporate governance and M&A. And these terms are foreign terms for us. Can you explain about it, ma'am?
Sure. So in a simple layman terms, what M&A means. So let me give you an example. When a particular company wants to acquire another company or the shares of another company, right? That's what is called M&A. So I advise clients to buy the companies, right? That's one M&A. Joint ventures. A lot of my clients are foreign international clients who want to come to India and do a joint venture with either the Indian party, right, or Indian government companies to develop a certain product, right? So I advise a lot of those international clients who are coming to India. That's joint venture, where effectively two parties come together, right, and create a venture either to manufacture or to deliver certain services, right? So that's what is joint venture, as the term says. Corporate governance is effectively, I'm sure you all have been reading in the newspaper, that the kind of things that have been going on in corporate world, big companies, right? And who govern these companies? What we have ultimately is the board of directors, right? Who govern or who manage these companies. So making sure that the people who are managing are doing it with integrity, and we can avoid the frauds and other circumstances in this world. So that's what is all the governance is all about. And I would like to bring that change in the corporate boardrooms. And that's what is my passion, is that's what we need to make changes. Does that answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for this clarification, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
You are so eager to ask. Shefali, ask a question.
Thank you. And ma'am, my question is, and being a lawyer and speak in a huge community and audience, so how do you get the beautiful confidence to speak in a huge audience, and how to store so many years of your ideas at a time?
So you know what? It's a progress. Let me put it this way. I think when I was of your age, I also had the same question in my mind. Let me tell you that. But you have to work on your skill set. Today, even after 25 years in this profession, I'm still learning. I'm learning from all of you, Shalinis, as I said, right? Somebody mentioned that improvising, life is improvisation, right? It is. So one thing which is important is that skill set. first, never get comfortable with what you are. You have to move out or step out of your comfort zone. Whether it is speaking opportunities, whether it is, whether you call it a small group or whether you call it a group of 200 people or 2000 people, right? And I think we heard somewhere is that when opportunities knock on your door, accept it. You may make a mistake, right? But accept those opportunities, because that's very, very important, right? So that's what I did. And as a matter of that routine that I developed over a period of 20 years, you do get confident. You meet a lot of people. And let me tell you, you girls are probably more confident than what I was 25 years ago. Okay, I seriously, genuinely feel that you all are very lucky because you are born in an era where you have things available at your tips, So make the most of it. I think it's very, very important, right? And especially when you are doing things in your own way, right? Be authentic. That's the subject, right?
Yes.
Confidence will come automatically. If you are yourself, you don't have to put up anything. You don't have to worry about anything. It will come.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
So now I invite Shikha.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi,
So my question is from you that as you are a corporate lawyer, so did you ever dealt with the logo or copyright infringement cases? As we are constantly told that not to copy paste something which are belongs to others.
Yes, so I think interesting question. Yes, I still keep telling my team of associates. We have now more than 700 lawyers in our law firm, and I keep telling all of them that please don't copy paste and send me document. So that's my standard this thing. Yes, and it's a lot easier now for people because everything is available on Google, right? Whatever you want to know, which is nice, and I think that is the nice thing of internet, right? That everything is now available at one click, and you put it and you know what exactly that problem is. But cut and paste is not good, because think of it, I mean, in copyright, think of the author who has created it, right? You are stealing somebody else's work, right? And that's not integrity. So yes, I mean, we have a team who deals specifically with copyright laws, but yes, I very strongly believe that copyright laws are very, very important. But in real world, we still have this, I have a son who is 15 years old, okay, and I think what is important is that right from childhood, you cultivate these principles. And that's very, very important, that don't copy someone else's work, right? And if you copy, please give credit, right?
Yes,
So, and that's what I believe in, is that yes, if you're going to adopt somebody else's work in your piece of work, when you're doing article or writing anything, right? Please give credit to that person, because that's what is important. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, in my one of the semester, I read a subject IPR, and from there I have agreed to know about the intellectual properties, and it is an amazing subject and make me really more and more about to know that. So being a lawyer and a corporate lawyer, it's an opportunity for me.
Yes, absolutely. We do that. I mean, we see, as part of the joint venture also, we do advise clients on IPR, because their brand is very, very important, right? Today, your brand, what is Riya from Delhi? She has her own brand. Shikha has her own brand. Divya has her own brand. So every person and every company, they've got their own intellectual property, right? So we do advise clients on those aspects. And we tell that, one, you should not be actually using somebody else's brand or intellectual property the same way. If somebody else is doing, you should stop that. So that's the fundamentals we believe in.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I just read a question from chat box on behalf of Muskan. She wants to ask you, quite few of us are doing BA or BCom. Would you advise us to do law after we graduate?
I would definitely do that, because I did my BCom first, let me tell you. So I am a BCom graduate, and Honestly, when I was in my first year BCom, at that time, I realized that, okay, this is something which I would like to pursue, right? I was still not sure as I started with my journey, is that because there was nobody from in my family was from legal background. I was not sure, but I knew that there is government law college. At that time, there were no national law schools. So yes, I would definitely, whether you are from arts or from commerce, definitely you should pursue that. And the question is whether you should do it after completing. I did it after completing my BCom degree, and that's perfectly okay. Nothing wrong with that. We
Thank
have
you,
a lot
ma'am.
of colleges with 3 years course. So yeah, you should do that.
Thank you, ma'am.
So,
Thank you so
Sapna, you
much,
seem
ma'am, for answering.
Sapna. Now you ask the question.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. Ma'am, my question is law good for women as a career? What are its branches? Can we do it after graduation? What is the procedure to enroll?
Okay. First question, is law good for women? Absolutely. No doubt about it, right? I think this is one industry, legal industry and law industry, what we say. Why would you actually even think about a woman cannot do law? I wouldn't even think about it. It's a very good opportunity. What is important though, I would say, and I have seen it personally in my career, that a lot of women actually they enroll for law courses, they become lawyers, they join the legal industry, okay, whether they join a litigation practice, counsel practice, or join a corporate law firm. After a few years, they give up for various reasons. Either they get married or they decide to have a baby, and after that, and that's when I feel really, really sad. Please don't do that, because you have put in a lot of hard work to achieve what you have achieved. Don't give it away. And I think and this is, I have spoken at various forums of having a leaky pipeline of women who have graduated as lawyers, who have started work as a lawyer, and then at some point, and I think that's the environment we need to create where women do feel like coming back and be successful at the legal career, right? So yes, absolutely. The answer to your question is yes, it is a good opportunity. You should, if you want to become a lawyer, you should definitely pursue that. How to enroll? I mean, see, there are various courses you can do. There is 5 years course, there is 3 years course. The lot of national law schools have now come up in various part of the country, lot of states. You could actually, and there is an exam called NCLAT. So you can appear for that exam and then get selected. Depending on which is your nearest field and which college you get admission in national law school, that is one way of, getting into a national law school. You could also join 3-year courses. So a lot of people, lot of girls, and even why just girls, irrespective of the gender, they decide to go for 3 years law courses, and a lot of colleges offer that as well. So that's another way where you don't want to do the 5 years course, right? So after completing your graduation degree, whether BCom, BA, whatever, or BSc, I have seen quite a few people doing science, Bachelor of Science, and then actually enrolling for law. So you could do even 3 years course. And then post that, after getting the graduations in law, what you could do is you can specialize. So for example, as I have specialized in corporate and M&A lawyer, there are various, like we just discussed about intellectual property rights, right? So somebody wants to become IP lawyer. Somebody wants to go to the court and argue, right? So who wants to do counsel practice or litigation lawyer? Somebody wants to do a real estate lawyer, so you could do that. Tax lawyer. Now there is super specialization where we become a pharma lawyer, e-commerce lawyer, as I am also now specializing after 20 years also in governance law. Not many people in India, the governance law has just started. We are at the start of that. So I think there are a lot of specializations, but yes, the first thing is go to the law college, and then you realize where your interest lies and then take it from there. Does that answer your question, Sapna?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, we are feeling so fortunate and blessed to share this room with you. But as we know, we are running out of time. So taking the last question, I would invite Preeti. Preeti.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this opportunity. Ma'am, I want to ask, I read about you and it really inspired me. And I found that you are a co-author of Research of Women on Board. So I want to know why you choose this or what message you want to give us on this Women's Day.
All right. So this is interesting. As I said, I'm passionate about governance. And that's when, in 2013, when the company law was changed, I realized that if you look at today's corporate boardrooms, it's full of men. It's old boys club. It's called old boys club. Okay. And I realized there were very few women who had made in the boardroom. Very few women leaders who actually got into the boardroom, right? Who became directors. And I realized that women have such an innate ability of leadership. Why is it that we are not seeing more and more women in the boardroom, which is full of men, right? It has to change. And when I decided to do the roundtable conference in 7 cities in India and meet the CEOs and the CFOs to get their view. I got very mixed response, let me tell you. Okay. And I know we are short of time, but I have to tell you this story. So I was in Calcutta when we were meeting a couple of promoters and the CEOs. And one of the CEOs told me, you know what, Kalpana, all this is fine. I have got sisters and mothers and my wife who can be on the board. I don't need to get an external professional women in the corporate boardroom. And I was just thinking that is this journey or the fight that I'm fighting, is it worth it? I was very sad that evening. And I was speaking to my mentor that evening and I was a little bit down that day. And I said, what happened, Kalpana, today? I said, I don't know, at this roundtable conference, this is the feedback I'm getting. And I don't know whether we are making the right changes in the law. And, he said, you are a person, you ask for a right, okay? If somebody doesn't want to give you, what do we do? What will you do? And I said, okay, let me think about it. And then I realized we have to change the law. If we don't get the quota, we are never going to get this seat in the boardroom, right? So if people don't give the opportunity, we have to create our own table in the boardroom where women get invited. And that's what I preferred. I said, okay, if this is the only way we are going to change the law, let's ask for a reservation in the boardrooms. It may not work in all the companies, but women bring very, very different leadership style. Okay, and it needs to percolate. So today, if you look at, we started this in 2013. Today we are in 7 years. Look at the number of women who have leadership abilities are in the boardroom and running, right? I have been on the directorship of listed companies. So point I'm making is that sometimes you have to ask. If you don't get it, you still have to ask, and you have to keep. It's a perseverance, right? You may not get everything immediately, but at one point you will get it. And today we got it. Right? So I think that's important from women on board perspective. And we have lots to change, okay? But I think we are on the right track. And what was the second question? Today's message, I think after speaking to all of you, I saw somebody telling me that I would love to travel. Somebody said, I want to do social work. Two of you mentioned about you want to be a drug controller, right? Whatever that is, first, dare to dream. Okay. I dreamt of going, my first dream, as I mentioned, from Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. I wanted to see this place. I never thought of it that I'll get the scholarship and I will do all those things, right? But dream it. It doesn't cost anything. And once you dream, follow that dream. It's extremely important that whatever is your passion or your dream is, follow that. If you don't follow your own dreams, you will be following someone else's dream, which you don't want to do, believe me. Because at the end of the day, when you follow your own passion or the dream, that fulfillment is very, very different. So if you have on your bucket list, I want to go to 3 places, do it. If not now, do it down 10 years. So So it's important. So dream and follow your dream.